Welcome to JGL Law for You. JGL Law for You is a podcast by lawyers, but not for lawyers only. On JGL Law for You, we will be discussing a wide array of topics to help you navigate the many legal processes, developments in the law, other current events, and how they may affect you, your family, or your business. I'm happy to have our friend and my colleague, senior counsel at Joseph Greenwald & Lake, Renee Blocker. Renee is an experienced trial attorney with a history of advocacy for her clients in the areas of personal injury, premises liability, workers' compensation, and criminal defense. Renee emphasizes understanding each client's goals and their objectives. Renee, welcome aboard.
Welcome, David. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for coming back. I wanted to talk with you today about the connection between folks' health insurance and how it may or may not be involved when there is a personal injury case that causes an injury to the person. Let's start a little bit with why folks have health insurance and what exactly the health insurance can do to provide some assistance to folks who are in an automobile accident or other personal injury matter.
Yeah, the main reason most people buy health insurance is to protect themselves from catastrophic events. There are things that happen in your life, some minor. You have a cough, you have a cold, you need to go to the doctor. That could be something easy and quick. Or you happen to be at home and you're walking down the stairs with a basket full of laundry. You slip down the stairs and break your ankle or something happens. And all of a sudden you're being rushed to the emergency room and you have surgery and you're in the hospital and pretty soon you got $10,000, $20,000 worth of bills. You need protection for that. So most people tend to buy health insurance to protect themselves for those type of incidents. The insurance companies give you a break because they pool multiple people together and they're able to give a lower rate for a larger class of people. So they take the people with the lowest risk and the people with the highest risk and they sort of average them out. So they give people an overall rate that might be lower than what you would pay individually.
When you say rate, you mean payment for the insurance policy or payment to the doctor?
Payment for the insurance policy.
Okay, so now let's shift over for a second and let's use me, for example. And I'm an automobile accident. I'm hurt in my automobile accident. And my health insurance picks up or pays for some of the bills. And then I go and I hire you to represent me in the accident because it was the other driver's fault. What, if any, involvement does my health insurance company have during the course of your representing me in that personal injury case?
The health insurance is going to be a factor. Your health insurance is designed to protect you from accidents and injuries that are caused by the everyday factors of life. You slip and fall down the stairs at home. You have an illness. You break your arm playing sports. You develop a bee sting or you have something in your eye. Those are the things that health insurance is designed for. But health insurance is not designed or developed to pay for injuries that are caused by another person. Those injuries are due to the fact that someone else hurt you. Someone else hit you with a car, someone else ran over you, someone else injured you. That person's insurance should pay for your medical bills, but it doesn't happen right away. So in the meantime, you use your own personal health insurance, and your own personal health insurance covers you in that meantime benefit, but your personal health insurance does want to be reimbursed for what they spent. And that's where things get complicated.
So when you say reimbursed, you mean I have to pay the health insurance company for the $3,000 in medical bills that they paid when I pay those premiums?
It sounds crazy, but yes. But there is a benefit to you to doing that. And I can tell you how. Health insurance gives you a lower rate. A doctor for physical therapy, very common thing. After you have an injury for a rear end accident, you're going to go in for physical therapy. The initial evaluation is $500. Every visit after that is another $300. Your health insurance contracts with your doctors. So the retail rate that doctor is going to charge you is $500 for the initial evaluation and $300 for every visit after that. So say you come in and you see me at my office after your auto accident and you say, Renee, I need some physical therapy. I went to, very popular, Patient First. I went to an urgent care. I got seen. They said, oh, you have some back strain, you have muscle strain, get some physical therapy. So you come in and you say, I need physical therapy. So I send you over to a physical therapist. The physical therapist treats you. You get better. So say it's 6 months later down the road. When you go to settle your claim, you expect that you're going to have to pay the physical therapist back for your medical bills, correct?
I don't know. All I know is that I have health insurance and I'm going to the physical therapist and the health insurance.
But think about it. If you did not use your health insurance, if you didn't have health insurance,
If I didn't have health insurance, then I would have to pay for it.
but you'd be paying the retail rate. You'd be paying the full price.
Well, okay, but let's get past the rate for just a second and say, okay, I've got a physical therapy bill of $2,000 that my health insurance paid for.
But the health insurance paid it at a lower rate. They contract with your doctor's offices, with the healthcare providers, with the big medical companies to pay a lower percentage per dollar.
All right, so let's just compare and contrast for a second. Let's say I go to the physical therapist, has nothing to do with an automobile accident, just because I'm injured wherever. It's nobody else's fault. Whatever it may be, I go to the physical therapist. My health insurance covers the treatment with the physical therapist. I'm not expected to pay that back, right? Because it wasn't somebody else.
It wasn't somebody else's fault.
Okay. What you're talking about is in this accident scenario that we talked about, right? Where I'm injured in an automobile accident, I go to the physical therapy, my health insurance pays for it, and then they say at some point in time, okay, we want our money back because why?
Because the driver who hit you, he needs to pay for all the bills, including the bills that your health insurance paid for.
Okay.
Now, in order to do that, it would make a lot of sense if the insurance companies could just bill each other in the background and leave us out of it. But they can't do that. The only way to do it is once they come to a settlement, because the settlement is between you and the other driver with the insurance companies. It's not between medical care providers back and forth. It's between us.
All right.
And the insurance companies can't settle out until we decide to settle for how much we are going to agree to pay each other for. So say I settle for $10,000. I make a deal with the other driver's insurance and I say, I'll take $10,000. My health insurance paid $2,000 of my medical bills. Now, my health insurance needs to get reimbursed for that $2,000, just like if I didn't use my health insurance and I went to a regular chiropractor and I spent $2,000. But I know in my mind that the health insurance gave me a bigger benefit because they got a lower rate. They really gave me $4,000 worth of physical therapy, but I'm only going to have to pay $2,000 for it because I pay for my health insurance. So I'm getting a benefit.
I've hired you. You representing me in my automobile accident against the fellow who rear-ended me, whose fault it was. You've determined that a fair and reasonable settlement for that case is $10,000 based upon medical bills, based upon lost wages, whatever else you've thrown into it, and you've agreed to settle the case for $10,000. So $10,000 check is written from the insurance company who insures the other driver to me, I guess, and you as my lawyer, right? And then from that $10,000, is that where the money is paid to my health insurance company?
Yes. Think of it this way. When you get that settlement for $10,000, what does that settlement include? It includes payment for your medical bills. It also includes payment for your pain and suffering. It might include payment for your lost wages. It might include payment for some other expenses like your prescriptions or your travel expenses. That's what that whole $10,000 encompasses. So part of that $10,000 is already set aside to pay your medical bills. You have to take it out. You can't include it as money you automatically get because you got to put it aside for medicals. You got to pay them back.
My health insurance company puts you on notice, I guess, right? They say to you, look, we paid X amount of dollars, and if you recover any money, we want to get paid back, right?
Correct.
All right. So when it comes to, we go back to our settlement time, is there any ability by the lawyer who represents me, you in this case, to go to that health insurance company and say, hey, look, I know you paid $2,000, but in order to get the case settled, so my client gets a certain amount of money, so on and so forth, are you able to sort of reduce that amount so you don't necessarily actually have to pay the full $2,000?
Yes. And that's where having an experienced lawyer on your side comes in. Because having lawyers that are experienced in working with insurance companies benefits you greatly. Not only does the lawyer work for you on the front side of your case, in negotiating with the other insurance company, they also work on the back side of your case And that's where they're negotiating with your health insurance providers to reduce your costs. So when you get the $10,000, the amount you have to settle out for, the amount you have to pay for those nasty medical bills is as low as possible because your attorney is working to negotiate that even lower for you.
So it's like a lien, almost like I'm going to say a mortgage, but like you have people a mortgage on their house or a loan against their cars. This is almost the same kind of thing, a lien against my recovery in this case, right?
It is. It's absolutely. So in other words, when you go to a hospital or you go to your doctor, they will ask you, and everybody knows this, when you sign up, you say, what's the reason for your visit? And you say, I was in a car accident. They automatically will ask you, great. What's the name of the insurance company? What's the claim number? Because they want to know if it was your fault. They want to know if it's somebody else's fault. Now, if it's somebody else's fault, they're automatically going to send you a letter and they're going to say, hey, we understand that you were involved in an injury accident. We believe that our payments for your injuries are the fault of somebody else. So if you are reimbursed for that, if you have a settlement for that, we expect to be paid back for that. That puts you on notice.
When you say that it's important to have an experienced lawyer who understands how to work with insurance companies, so you go back to my situation again, right? I've got this $10,000 settlement. There's a $2,000 amount that the insurance company is owed based on what they paid on my behalf. But like you said, they paid that at a reduced rate, right? They got the insurance rate. So why would the insurance company be interested in cutting what I owe them even further?
Because the insurance company may not, and they don't always, get paid for those injuries and that accident. Insurance companies sell insurance. They sell insurance based upon risk. And that risk is based upon whether the person will or will not get in an accident and what the costs will be back and forth. Now, part of that risk is also the risk that they will be paid back for those benefits that they sell. Part of that is, in case of accidents and injuries, whether they will be able to recoup the money that they paid out for somebody else's accident or injury. Sometimes hospitals, you get in a car accident, you have no health insurance, you've got nothing. You end up with a $10,000 bill you can't pay. And the hospital never gets paid. They have to write it off as a bad debt. And their insurance writes it off as a bad debt. Sometimes they just never get paid for these things. So sometimes the health insurance company is willing to negotiate with you because it's better than not being paid at all.
But in my circumstance, Renee, we already know that you've got the $10,000. So does the insurance company know that you've got the $10,000? And if so, why would they take less?
Well, we work with them because sometimes there are statutory reductions that we can do.
What's that mean?
If your insurance company is Medicare or Medicaid or a lien holder, such as a workers' compensation lien holder or something like that, the federal government and the state allows you to take a percentage off additionally on top of that.
Well, let me make sure I understand that so the folks understand that. So there's a statute,
The law.
a law that says that if this type of carrier, whatever it is, paid X amount of dollars, that you, the lawyer, are entitled to an automatic reduction of that claim by a certain percentage. Is that true?
Yes.
Then where does that extra money go? So now there was that $2,000 bill that I had to pay out of my pocket, but now you've reduced that $2,000, pick a number, to $1,500. Where's that $500 going?
That $500 helps to cover your attorney's fees.
So you get the money.
Well, think of it this way. Everyone knows you have to pay fees and costs to do a settlement. You have attorneys, you have costs, you have fees. It costs you something to get that settlement.
Okay.
The state, the government, they're trying to help you out by giving you a statutory reduction that will help you reduce your medical bills a little bit further to cover some of those additional costs that you have and help you to take a little bit more money home in your pocket.
Let's just do the math for a second, because I think this is important for people to understand. So again, that $10,000, right, is sitting there. And let's say I signed a retainer. Let's just use even numbers so it's easy. Okay, let's say that I signed an agreement that says that your fee is going to be 25% of what we recover. Let's just use that as a number because it's simpler math. So under the prior scenario, okay, well, I know I'm paying you $2,500. I know I got to pay the health insurance company $2,000. That leaves me $5,500 out of my settlement that I'm going to get, plus or minus whatever other miscellaneous expenses there might be, right?
Right.
So now in the other situation, now instead of $2,000 bill, it's only going to be $1,500 reduced from my $10,000, right? So a piece of that, so we walked through that same math, that 10,000 minus the 1,500 minus the 2,500 is 4,000. So now I'm getting 6,000 instead of the $5,500. So I'm not really using that money to pay you. I'm actually getting more money in that scenario because of the work that you did, right?
Right. So we are helping you to put more money in your pocket by helping you to pay for our own bills, for our expenses.
But I end up getting more money.
You end up getting more money.
Okay. You're still getting the same 25%, whether you reduce my lien or don't reduce, so either whether it's $2,000 or $1,500. So you're actually working in that scenario solely for me, your client, because you're not getting any piece of that $500 at the health insurance company.
Nope, we're not getting any of it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, people need to understand that. I mean, I think that's important.
But we're giving you a benefit. And this is what good attorneys do and what the attorneys that are experienced are able to do for you.
This is very interesting. So let me ask the other question. Let's say there's this claim and the driver of the other car that hit me won't pay. And we end up in a situation, let's say, where you actually have to institute a lawsuit of some sort. And then you lose the lawsuit. We lose. Let's see, it wasn't, I didn't get hit in the back, whatever the facts of the case were, but we lose. Do I still have to pay my health insurance company back that $2,000?
No.
And do I have to pay you anything?
No. Everything we do for you is on contingency. You don't pay unless we provide you a settlement. We don't get any money unless you get money. It's the way it works. And all of your healthcare providers know that. They absolutely know that their recovery is based upon whether or not you can receive a settlement. If you do not receive a settlement, they will not hold that over your head and force you to pay them back anyways.
It would just be as if, like you said, I fell in the kitchen and it was nobody's fault, right? They just pay it because
Correct.
I pay okay. All right. Well, this has all been awesome. Thank you very much. I think this was interesting for people to understand the connection between the two. And Renee, I know you do this every day of the week, so folks might have questions. What's the best way for them to reach you?
You can contact me at our JGL Greenbelt office. My number is 240-553-1106. This is a common topic that I get from almost every one of my clients. Ask the same thing because almost everyone has health insurance and they say, why do I have to pay back my health insurance? This is why, and this is why it's beneficial to have the health insurance in the first place.
You must be a lot of fun to have at parties, I'm sure. So,
yeah,
anyway.
People love talking about insurance.
Oh, yeah. Renee Blocher, thank you very much for your time. Folks, we hope to see you and hear you next time. This is JGL Law for You.